Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host, majority of the time, Gav. Joined today by Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Alright, I'm no bad, you?
Yeah, I'm good. How's your week been?
It's been no bad, mate. I've been on annual leave, so decent weather and that for it, as you can see. And then, obviously, we had a wee mandate up Livy Centre the other day, which was decent. And then the rest of the time, I've just chilled, watched the Spurs doc.
How is it? I've not got around to it yet.
Class. Really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, the players and like the Spurs team didn't have much personality about them, I'll be honest, but Mourinho's quality. Aye. I liked Mourinho anyway, but then I kind of went off him a wee bit. But it's just completely different to how you would think he would be. So I would advise people go and watch it, and didn't scroll through Netflix for 20 minutes like I did. Like, why is it not here? It's on Amazon. So
aye. Well, if you're looking through Netflix though, I'd recommend the Sunderland one, because I know you've not watched that yet.
I've not watched it yet, no.
But
I might.
If you're in the mood for it once you finish the Spurs one,
Yeah.
Are they releasing it weekly, or is it up and running?
Don't have a clue. I've watched 5. I don't know
Right.
how many there is.
Okay.
So I've not finished it, but yeah, that's good.
Aye. Amazon's got The Boys out as well, which is really good. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
I have not. I am currently watching Umbrella Academy.
It's a similar sort of mould to that. The
Is
Boys,
it?
it's sort of taking a different slant, sort of take a kind of parody, but also serious of sort of superhero genre.
I wonder if all that came out because Misfits was really good.
I just rewatched that the last few weeks. It was so good, Misfits.
This was class.
But so yeah, so looking at Hibs so far this season then, so Dave, how I know sort of briefly touched on this before, but how would you review the first 6 games?
How would I review it? God, I don't know. How would below par in a weird way, because we're sitting where we're sitting in the league, but I don't think the performances have been up to scratch, but the results have been acceptable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. What's been your takeaways from the performances so far?
But then we don't dominate games. We seem to play safe, like, and all it results in is the opposition having chances. Aye, there might not be like glaring chances, but the game just feels quite flat, and very safe. Apart from that one game against Livingston, which we dominated the game, like shots wise and chances. I would say, well, I wouldn't even say, when you look at the stats in that, we've not had another game where we've had more shots on goal than the opposition. So every game the opposition's had more shots. Apart from St Johnstone, they were level with us, but it's not really ideal, is it?
But then the performances haven't been there and we're still winning, so surely that's encouraging that then we're going to start winning.
It is. It just depends how you want it to be.
I mean, Jack Ross has kind of said in his post-match interviews a lot of the time, even after like Dundee United game and the St Johnstone game, the performances weren't good enough. So to me, he's identifying that.
No, that's the good thing that's coming out of it, because I'd be concerned if, for example, he said no, our performance was good in that when it wasn't. But Steve Clark the other night said the performance against Israel was good at Hampden. He was like, there was more positives than negatives. I'm like, wake up, mate. And then because he's come out and said that, people on the radio and these people on social media are talking about it and been like, what? Like, they have a negative reaction against that because performance is poor and the manager's blindsided. Whether he's just saying what he's saying in the media and not saying it in public, but what's the point in that?
I felt so sorry for Lyndon Dykes. I mean, like, Livingston aren't a team that create a lot of chances, but he must have been, and obviously now he's at QPR, but he must have been thinking, Christ, what have I got to do to get chances created for me? Such a lack of service for him. We're going off topic a bit, but just felt really sorry for him in those 2 games. So looking at the team then, so I say I know what the answer is going to be, but we'll run through this. So we'll run through the team. Obviously, we've signed Barnes on loan. Looks like Dabrowski's going out on loan. Just quickly, your thoughts on that? Do you think it's better for Dabrowski to be playing a full season for somebody in the Championship?
Yeah, well, it's already confirmed it's Dumbarton in it, he's away. So I think somebody made this point in our group chat. He will face a lot of activity, and I get when he's playing with Dumbarton, they're not a team that are going to be anywhere near the top half of the table. So it could do him the world of good, or it could shoot his confidence to bits. Who knows? But he's a good goalkeeper. He seems
a very confident guy.
He's a good goalkeeper. He's a loud character on that as well. So
I think, like, say, I was personally making the argument for him to play League Cup games and things like that. But especially looking at the teams we've got in the League Cup, like he's not going to face many chances. He's just going to be standing there. Very few attempts on goal, I'd imagine, from teams like that. So I hope.
Well done. That's us out.
But like I say, I think he's going to get, like you say, he's going to get a lot more exposure, playing a full season, hopefully, because obviously the injury sort of stopped that from happening at Cowden Beath. I feel don't know much about Barnes, but I think definitely just going to be a solid number 2 to Marciano rather than coming for the jersey. That might be in his plans, but I can't see it.
Well, hopefully it's in his plans and he's not just coming to sit down. I'd rather he pushed Marciano, but I've never seen him play, so I've no idea what type of player he is. I think Colchester fans had said it was kind of mixed, wasn't it? Like, good goalkeeper, some folk liked him, some folk didn't, and then I've not seen anything what QPR fans have said. So
looking through the team, like I said, defence, obviously a great start for the season for them. Are you happy with where the defence is at the moment?
Yes, rather weirdly, yes I am. I don't know how that's happened.
And looking at the forward line, obviously Nisbet due to be back tomorrow. Deutsch, goal machine Deutsch,
Is
young striker and goal.
Nisbet definitely back?
Yeah, well, according to Ross after the Aberdeen game, he said he'd be back.
Right, so it's who do I believe? Is it Jack Ross or the Fantasy Premier League app? Because it's still saying orange. So, and I've got Nisbet up top, so you've got to be cautious about these types of things, Gav. Jack Ross better not be lying to me, or we will be having words.
So yeah, we've got Nisbet coming back, we've got Deutsch, we've got Gullen, Murphy can play up there, Boyle can play up there. I know there's maybe an argument for another body, but in terms of strength, are you happy with forward line?
We need another one in,
right?
For cover, for quality.
But in terms of performances this season, how have you felt they've done?
Not really that good, to be honest. We were looking up the stats and that for the game, and was Deutsch 18% these aerial duels he's won. That's low.
1 in 5,
and then that might be the quality of the ball coming to him, obviously. But then when you look on Nisbet, bagged a hat trick and a couple of assists, and then he's been out, so hopefully he can come back in and do well. But it just shows you one person drops out, and like we hardly created any chances against Aberdeen. Like 2 shots on target or something, and Aberdeen had more shots, nearly as many shots on target as we had in goal in the whole game. So it was just like we need more quality.
So that brings it to the midfield. Is that where the area where we need to either strengthen or the players need to improve that are currently there? Yeah,
we need to see more for Scott Allen. He needs to show that he's the player that was here in the first 2 spells he was here.
I was looking at the stats before the game and I was surprised. It was only 7 goals from open play last season that Scott Allen got. Like, you obviously remember that one against Aberdeen, that one against Rangers and stuff, but
assists.
Assists from open play. Sorry. So to me, that's his main job. That's what he's given that freedom in that number 10 position to do. And if he's only getting 7 over the course of a season, that's not enough to warrant a start.
Do Genk players like him though need, like for example, this season he's not had a run at all.
Mm-hmm.
The confidence players, Genk, they need to be feeling it, like, because he got one in the first game of the season against Kilmarnock, and then since then he's not done anything. But he's not been starting, and then he's come off the bench, and he changed the mood of the game when he came off the bench against Dundee United. Mm-hmm. But he's not been good enough when he has been starting. So I think he needs to show that he is decent.
I'll be honest, I don't think him and Deutsch work together.
No,
I think the type of balls, like, his best performance this season was probably the Kilmarnock game where Boyle was playing up top.
Yeah, he needs.
Nisbet's got a bit of mobility as well. I think he needs somebody with a bit more mobility and a bit more pace up top to play balls that they can run onto, rather than balls to feet like Deutsch prefers, or chances in the box. The majority of Deutsch's goals, or all his goals for Hibs, have been in the box. So I think he prefers to play those balls. So maybe is that partnership of Deutsch and Allen gonna work? It's not so far this season.
No, I know what you mean. He enjoys a through ball. He's a triangle guy on FIFA, or a Y next, but it's that slip ball. So I agree. Deutsch is probably no that type of player that makes the kind of runs. So do we try Boyle up top when Nisbet isn't available then?
I'm surprised that Boyle played out on the right and Wright played up top when Boyle could have played up top quite easily. I don't know what the thinking was for that. If only I could have asked Jack Ross that when I went and spoke to him.
You should have asked.
I should have asked him
You
that.
should have
Yeah.
asked.
Aye, hindsight. I was even talking to him about Wright playing up top. I should have said, what was the thinking before?
Yeah, you should have.
I mean, I could imagine the answer would have been with Boyle's pace, you can get up the pitch faster with Boyle.
But Dre Wright's fleeing.
Yeah, but he's not as fast as Martin Boyle.
He's probably not as fit either, because he's just came back from an injury, so he maybe wouldn't have done the wing back job as well.
So hopefully, like I say, Jack Ross has seen this and he's been speaking about hopefully this improving. International break, good opportunity to get the players and work on what they've been doing wrong. So what would you change, and what would you hope they've been working on?
I would hope that just getting back up to being more fluid, just the overall quality, the better. Because when you look at the passing accuracy, like, what would you say is a decent passing accuracy for a team in a game? Like an average.
I mean, maybe I'm sort of thinking about, higher standards. I'd imagine in the 80s, maybe round about 75 to 80 for Scotland though. A team like Hibs, the way we should be playing, we should always be round about that 80% mark.
Yeah, well, we're nowhere near it. So the highest we've been for the games, and again, these are just stats I'm taking off online, 73%, and that was against Aberdeen, and then the rest, 65, 62, 66, 66 again, and then 56. That's low. How
have Motherwell and Aberdeen compared against us in those games? Because they're the two teams that will kind of be closest to us.
Well, Aberdeen's was 72 and Motherwell's was 75, so just more quality.
Both at Easter Road.
Yep, and both in that game, I felt in both games they had a midfield that dominated us. So, like McCrory, man of the match, and then against us at Easter Road again, I thought Alan Campbell was brilliant. I don't know if that's because our midfield's too soft and then the teams are pressing us and winning the ball back easy, or if it's because we're trying World Cup balls for the back. Like, do you know what I mean? But we are playing a lot of long balls now, or that's what it feels like. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, to be fair. I just hope they've worked on the quality, because I've not seen enough quality in the last few games anyway.
So hopefully we see the start of this improvement against St Mirren tomorrow. They've just made a new signing in Lee Irwin, of course, formerly of Ross County, and went down south. Leeds he went to briefly after Motherwell. So a sort of player that's been about. Probably I got quite a good signing for them. And obviously they're going to be two players out, including their goalkeeper, due to testing positive for the global bastard. So what's right saying that Jack Alnwick, he's the first choice goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah, we just signed them for Rangers, so that'll be a blow for them. So hopefully we're creating enough chances to. I don't know who the number 2 is.
No idea.
Put him on the spot. So
yeah, and obviously a bit frustrating that, like I say, this is something that's going to happen throughout the season. Frustrating for St Mirren, but obviously we had it last week. Although the guy never tested positive, but we moaned about that enough last week. And obviously I think there's another incident where it's happened at Hamilton as well, and the player that he's roommates with has had to isolate as well. So this is going to happen, isn't it, going forward? Yeah,
it's definitely going to be something, and it's annoying and it's frustrating that teams have been forced to play with players been out, but then Celtic and Aberdeen didn't. They just got their games postponed at a later date, and then everyone was fully available for them. But it's just the way it happened, I think. It's because it was the first cases. There wasn't a president in place, but there should have been.
There should have been.
And then, ironically, who's getting the test games? Involving Aberdeen and Celtic. Alright.
That's a bit of a strange
one. Bother.
Yeah, obviously Celtic fans won't be involved. It's at Ross County, but still. So what was just quickly? What's your thoughts on the test games going ahead?
I think everybody should be allowed to test game. I personally don't understand why it's only 300 that are allowed in. I don't know. I think you need a bigger sample to work if that works, especially at higher capacity stadiums.
I'd imagine the 300 is to kind of make it more manageable for in terms of things like people turning up at different times because you get an allotted time to turn up.
Yep. So how many stands are you using? 4.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be split over the 4 stands, or is it going to be
I think
one
it should
stand?
be one stand to be using and try and contain it in one place. Minimal staff, minimal people, and like say just sort of get the protocols tested and in place and stuff.
See, I would think it would make more sense to open up the stands and have it spread out. Because when you take, for example, Livy Centre, where I work, right? Say you're allowed 2,500 people on that at one time. That's a loop, right? So everybody goes round that place. You're forced to go the one way, all the way around, right? So 2,500 people are in the one space at the one time. But you're telling me a football match you can't have 2,500 people in 4 stands. Yeah, I'm never going to be in the south stand if I'm in the north stand. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to be anywhere near the guys. So if you have like 500 in each stand, that's 2,000. I don't understand why that can't be. I don't know. Somebody would need to explain that to me.
But it's been the same, like say that the all games, like say Hibs, but also down south and like say other teams and stuff. All the press, all the staff, all the people, the players, all that. Obviously, the players are separated and stuff, but everybody's in the one stand.
Well, but you've not got the away team changing in the south stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why? So everybody's in the one stand apart from 20 folk.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Yeah. Obviously, the things is face masks must be worn at all times. No shouting, singing, or chanting. It'll be interesting to see how that's enforced. So if
fucking easy for the last couple of games that we've had to fucking fall asleep anyway.
Well, for example, like say, I mean, they're talking about pushing, like, or somebody was saying about, you know, they're not going to have it in place for the Old Firm game, or are they going to do testing for the Old Firm game, and would they push back the Old Firm game in order to get in place with all the rules sort of changing and stuff? That's why Stephen's not here today. 3 households. Just get it. So I want to prioritise the 2 households. Stephen's working today. But like I say, it'll be interesting to see if somebody does pull down the mask and shout something at the referee or something, do they get a warning? And then if they do it again, do they get told to leave? How are they going to police that? I mean, again, I think that's why it's 300 people, because if you're less likely to have people shouting, and then it's easier to police that and kind of troubleshoot and then go, right, what worked, what didn't. And anyway, and like I say, it'll be interesting to see what comes of the 2 tests and how it goes forward. Can you see Hibs Aberdeen being a test next week? Yeah, Hibs Rangers being a test next week?
Nah, and I wouldn't go if it was. I'd rather sit and shout at the telly in the house and have a drink.
Yeah, aye.
I'm not going and sitting myself and sitting on my hands. Sorry, when we're playing Rangers, not a chance.
Yeah, I want to shout things at the telly definitely against Rangers. So getting back to St Mirren, we kind of went off a bit off a time with the whole sort of COVID stuff. But St Mirren this season started with a win against Livingston, 3-0 defeat to Rangers, a win against Hamilton, and a draw against Ross County at home, and then a defeat away to St Johnstone. So not the worst start for
good start for St Mirren, I think.
St Mirren.
A decent start. I like St Mirren. I do. I've got a wee place in my heart now after last season. Yeah. And their social media stuff has been quality.
Very clever, because they put the thing about the heartbreaker of Vika and stuff. The amount of people I say that I've seen sharing that, the Hibs pages on Facebooks, group chats and things like that, it's all been shared, and at the bottom it's got about the pay-per-view. That's just getting more interest about the pay-per-view, making people more aware of the pay-per-view. Very, very clever marketing. Yeah,
Hibs fans are going to go at it. Gain St Mirren all their money, and it's class. Yeah, like, I'm going out for the day. I'm not even going to be able to watch it. Still might buy it just because give St Mirren some money. But they've started well, so yeah. I think Goodwin's a good manager. I think he'll go to somewhere else bigger than St Mirren. I can't see him not being a success there.
I agree. Yeah.
And they're ambitious. Like chairman says, they'll finish top 6 this season. So wait and see where they finish. They're 6th now. I know we're early doors, but they're very ambitious.
A very good start, and like I say, I don't think they're going to be an easy team to break down defensively. Looking at the first few games, obviously Rangers with a 3-0 win, but other than that, looking at the other 4 games they've had, they've only conceded 2 goals in 4 games. That's a good start for some like who was relegation candidates last season.
Yeah, they seem a bit more solid, and they're playing alright stuff. So,
and like I say, Lee Irwin, good signing for them as well. So after leaving Ross County, So no, I think there's a good striker in there. Potentially good partnership with Obika, and definitely. But how are you feeling ahead of the game then? Looking at St Mirren's start, looking at our start, obviously the international break. How are you feeling that we'll come back from it?
We should always be getting into games against St Mirren. I think we're going to win, so I think we'll win.
Yeah.
Score
predictions.
I'll say 2-0 to Hibs.
I'm going to go 1-0 Hibs. I want to be wrong. We're creating loads of chances and scoring lots of goals, especially with Nisbet coming back. But yeah, I'll go 1-0 Hibs. St Mirren haven't been scoring a lot themselves, so our defence has been impressive this season, so I fancy us to win with a clean sheet. But I think they'll be hard to break down, so I'll go 1-0 Hibs.
Yeah, I'll stick with 2-0.
So we're going to finish up today with a game of start, sell, bench. We played this last week with 3 very good players, so we thought we'd twist it this week and go with 3 players who weren't as successful at Hibs, but then obviously you've got the dilemma of you've got to start one. So the 3 players this week we're going for the goalkeeper position, because you can only start one, because I did see a couple of people saying, oh, just start Mixu and O'Connor, and I'm like, well, that's not the game, but I see what you're doing there. So we'll go with goalkeepers, because you only get one. So Dave, 3 goalkeepers we're going to put up today: Zibi Malkowski, Yves Makalamby, and I was thinking about Andy McNeil, but he did win the cup. So I consulted with the group chat, and they've suggested Graham Smith as the 3rd goalkeeper.
Right.
So
that's a difficult one because there's not much quality in there at all, is there? I would start Graham Smith.
Why?
Because he probably wasn't as bad as Makalamby or Makowski, was he?
6 goals he conceded against Motherwell.
Yeah, I know. You make a good point, and this is the problem. No matter what I say to you, you would have a good point to tell me why I'm wrong to start them, because you wouldn't.
He was part of that 3 goalkeeper competing for the jersey thing from Yogi.
Fucking Yogi's goalkeeping school.
Who was that again? Because it was him, Mark Brown, and who's the other one?
Was it no
Alistair Brown, or was it somebody else?
Was it no the boy for Dundee United?
The Polish goalkeeper. Might have been. We'll need to check that later. Or you can let us know at HFC Talk who's the 3 goalkeepers in Yogi's goalkeeping school.
Can't mind, but I'd start Graham Smith. I would bench Makalamby. Because I quite liked Makalamby. A soft spot for me. He was fucking shite, but and then I would get rid of Malkowski because he was never very good.
The thing is, I mean, he didn't have a good career after us, but in Edinburgh born and raised, I don't know if he was actually a Hibs fan, but Graham Smith had a very good career before us. 127 games for Motherwell. It was Motherwell's first choice goalkeeper for 4 years, and was a very good goalkeeper. Got a move off to Brighton off the back of it, and then after that came to us and 16 appearances, and then after that it's like Gabala. Well, I don't know if that's who they are. I'll check that now. Partick Thistle, Ayr United, Brecon City, Stenhouse Moor. So it's kind of really not really recovered from his time at Hibs. Azerbaijan he went out to. There you go. That's Gabala. So yeah, and then like I said, the other 2 goalkeepers. So you went for benching Makalamby. I mean, one of the first things that comes to my mind with Makalamby is Lee Miller's goal at Pataudry against them, where he kicked it and Liam Miller just stood there, hit the back of his head and went in.
I can't mind that.
He just Liam Miller just stood there and did a wee jump with the back of his head and it went in, and Makalamby was like, oh, what? And it's like, yeah, it's a goal. I
mean, if there's anything that sums up Makalamby, right, it's that when you look on like his Wikipedia and that, for example, right, he played 57 times for Hibs. He left Hibs, and how many first team games do you think he had? I think Wikipedia's on league appearances in it, but in a league since he left Hibs in 2010.
I don't know, about another 50.
9. It's 2020.
So he's made a career of being a sub goalkeeper.
Yes, he has, because obviously it was Chelsea and Watford before us didn't play any matches. Swansea didn't play. He went to KV Michelin. Where did they play?
Don't know.
Also don't care. They played once there. And he went to Royal Antwerp 3 times there.
Belgium.
Then Otelluge Gatali twice there. And then Wycombe Wanderers 3 times. So that's why I would bench Makalamby, because he's used to it. It's his natural habitat.
Yeah.
It's on the bench.
I agree with that there. I think I'll agree with you a bit in terms of Zibi as selling as well. I mean, the thing with Zibi, right? Controversial. A very, very good goalkeeper.
Shut up.
Who made mistakes.
That's to make sure a shit goalkeeper.
Yeah,
then, no?
but like, so 9 out of 10 times he's a good goalkeeper, and then the mistakes he makes are horrendous. I always remember he was quite good at coming out and catching the ball, and a very good shot stopper. But the amount of times he would just switch off. I don't know if it's a concentration thing. I don't know if it's a communication thing. What it was, but a very good goalkeeper who made lots of mistakes, and I've got to sell him because of the semi-final. It was horrendous, that game.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, and then I actually completely forgot that it went on loan twice to Gretna and Inverness.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you that, but he's played a lot of matches. Like when he left Hibs, for absolute numpties anyway, but you still would probably got a wee fee for him. Not much. Probably they would pay for his petrol and that to get him to where they wanted to be, but I would take it. I can't believe Makalamby's played less than 60 games. He's a professional football player.
That is crazy.
I know.
That's some career, by the way. That's going to be the best career ever.
What,
like,
a sub
goalkeeper. It's the best career ever. You're involved in match days. You're getting a great view of games. You're training every day. You're helping improve another goalkeeper, and you're not playing, so you've not got the pressure of playing.
Quite a good job, eh?
Aye. Like I say, don't get me wrong, I'd rather be a professional footballer and playing, but it's quite cushy.
Yeah, it's a very cushy number.
Aye. So I'd love to kind of go different from you, but I agree. I think, because of what he done at Motherwell, there's probably a decent goalkeeper in there. We'll go for I would say Mark Brown, but it's not Mark Brown. It was Graham Smith.
Mate.
Graham Smith is the goalie. Makalamby, because he used it as a sub goalkeeper and unable to forgive Zibi for the mistakes he made, especially against Hearts. So sell him. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah, there was a few honorary mentions that could have been in this as well.
Yeah, like I said, I initially did write down Andy McNeil, but of course he won the cup, so I think that was always going to be the starter. Simon Brown, Mark Brown, Chris Maxwell, who was basically just a mannequin. Yeah, in goals. Like if it was on target, it was in. I think he saved one shot. Oh well. And then Mark Oxley was like quite harshly mentioned by our group chat, which I disagree with. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was a championship, but a very solid goalkeeper.
He won the cup.
Yeah,
I know he wasn't in for the semi-final and that. And he also scored a goal.
He did. Yeah,
but he wasn't. I wouldn't say he was good, but I wouldn't say he was in the same league as some of the keepers the bad ones we've had. Yeah.
So we'll put a graphic and stuff, but let us know at HFC Talk who you would start, sell, and who you'd bench out those three. Enjoy the St Mirren game tomorrow, and we're going to try and do a phone in tomorrow night straight after the game, myself and Stephen. Dave, feel free to phone in it when you're nice and drunk.
I'll think about it. Depends if we win or not. Or if we get beat, I want a rant. I might phone you. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Right. Look forward to that. So follow, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Follow us at HFC Talk. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we'll be back after the game.
Bye.